to the Wednesday Call Live. Now, let's hear for our special guest hosts, Adam and Beth Katz, and Mike and Noelle Lewantowicz.
All right. Hey, good to see everybody. It's been a long 3 days. Since, hey, it's been long if you've been working and fighting. So it's been busy since we got back.
Since the family got together.
That's right.
Now we're getting together on Zoom.
That's right.
That's cool?
That's right. ZoomTube, YouFace, YouTube, whatever. Social media you see us on. Hey, we're here. We are Mike and Noelle Lewantowicz. Happy to be here. We got our friends. We're also with the smoking business, ton of momentum. Adam and Beth Katz. Let them say hi real quick.
Hey guys, fired up coming off a family reunion. The momentum is through the roof, and I tell you what, can't wait to work the next 90 days so we can see what the results are going into the National Boot Camp. That's the exciting part.
Absolutely. I think the energy, just that, what we experienced at family reunion, that take it and get your Tupperware container and just go in there and sniff it, because it was just so good and so exciting, and it's just propelling us like that urge that you just got to do more. We're excited.
Yeah, no doubt. Big weekend, lots happening. In fact, it is kind of funny. I don't know if we reminded people, but certainly I know some people, was you're coming out of there on Sunday, some people, always expect you start to make a big decision, you're probably going to get punched in the face. So I've already heard some stories about people getting punched in the face, whether because their planes got delayed because we had a hurricane or flooding and back at their house. Hey, look, so you're being tested. Had one guy told me he went to put gas in his diesel car. He's like, the colors on the handles are wrong, so I put regular gas in my diesel truck. And it's like, hey, but he had a pretty cool attitude. He's like, yeah, working through it, got it fixed, still moving. But, it's just like, hey, you're going to get punched in the face somehow. I don't know what's going to happen.
That's the key, is what's your attitude coming into, having those situations. You're always going to have them. It's okay. We're going to have them every day. But what's your attitude and what are you going to do? Like, how can you fix it fast so you can move forward fast, right? It's the year of no big deal. It's no big deal, right? And we move on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No big deal on that. So, so if you've been tested, hey, good job. Stay focused on what you're trying to do. We have been flooded with stories.
Speaking of flooding, we've been flooded with stories.
The
best kind.
That's right. So
good stories. Both of those stories.
Yeah, a lot of good stories and things that have happened. A lot of leaders have been sharing stuff. In fact, I'll just say, if you're a leader here listening and you know something that huge has happened in your group since Sunday afternoon when people took off out of Burlington, text me, Noelle, Adam, Beth. We'll see if we can work it in, because we got a list of stuff we're going to weave in with some great teaching points of what people have done. So our purpose today is to kind of help you have a checkup on, hey, what have you done in the last 72 hours since you left? What's going on? What are leaders doing that you can copy? What are new agents doing that you can copy to make sure you're optimizing this time that you've got coming out of family reunion? This biggest thing we're going to try to do today, and we got teaching points as well as evidence of what's happened. Hopefully y'all can leverage this.
I know Adam said it's 90 days till the National Boot Camp, which is in Orlando, Florida. For those of you that weren't able to be at family reunion, get your ticket now for the National Boot Camp. It's October
18th, 19th, and 20th.
In Orlando, Florida. So a great place to have it. Lots of flights available. We were looking at flights already to get down there, and a lot of cheap flights. It's a good thing because, in Orlando, you can get a lot of flights.
A lot of direct flights. I saw somebody that's like, the ticket's $130 round trip. I'll say, you couldn't walk there for that cost. so anyways, okay. Get things locked in. So first, big thing that we've seen is we saw, I think, some great teaching around why recruit and build and how to recruit and build. And we see people taking action since then. And as I was looking at some things that people shared with me as some of the most impactful pieces. The one that I had a lot of people come up to me afterwards and said, hey, this really helped me get clarity, was the 2 slides from Mark Cassetta's talk. And I think I probably want to start there because I think we have the opportunity just to help bring people back to that thought process. And so, T, if you don't mind pulling that first slide up, where we talked about the quadrants.
While T is doing that, just so everybody knows, there's one thing we do. It sounds like 3 things, but it's really one thing. We sell, we recruit, and we build. Sell, recruit, build. It's one thing. That's what we are at the Alliance. So this slide really helped a lot of people get a visual. Some of us are visual people, like me. I needed a visual to see it, so this is a great slide that Marcus said I had at the family reunion.
And if you weren't there, well, hopefully this helps you understand what moved a number of people. So if you're brand new or you didn't make it, hey, welcome. But here we go. This first quadrant comes out of a book that Robert Kiyosaki wrote called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then he had a whole book on this quadrant here, these 4 quadrants called the cash flow quadrant, and really trying to simplify how people make money. 4 basic ways. 1, you do it as an employee where you're trading time for money. You put in hours, they give you either a wage or a salary. If you think your salary and you're special at, you're still an employee and you're still trading time. Try stop putting in time and see if they keep paying you, right? So it's time-based income. Nothing wrong with it. Hey, there's different degrees of jobs and incomes and what you do to trade time for money. Some may be better than others, but at the end of the day, it's still time-based revenue.
That's where we came in at.
Yep. So exactly, we both.
And Adam and Beth, you were teachers, right? You made a little bit of money.
We were working for the man, the government. So yeah.
So absolutely. So many of us, I don't say everybody, but most people have had some time working as an employee at some point. Okay, great starting point. Nothing wrong with it. Next, the self-employed sector. Some people say, I want to go into business for myself. And they do. And oftentimes what they've done is they've created their own job where they're the boss. But instead of having somebody that kind of takes care of several things for them and they can just focus on the 1 task or 2 tasks as an employee, now as a self-employed person, you've got more responsibilities. Now you might be having a higher revenue for what you do. Some people, I say, have a lower revenue after they got done. But in this self-employed world, whether you're making a lot or a little, you may not have a boss, you like that. But in most cases, at the end of the day, you stop working, you stop making money, right? And so you could be a self-employed dentist. You stop, drilling, filling, and billing. It's like you ain't got no money coming in. And so I think that's important to understand. As an insurance agent, hey, we are self-employed. Now, we do have the benefit of building renewals on our life and health products. That's nice. So maybe that's not fully true, but still to really scale up your income is kind of difficult as you're doing it on your own as a self-employed individual. We get next quadrant as a business owner. That's where, hey, you are creating leverage. You're creating leverage through employees, through a distribution force, or through an idea. Somehow you've got a business and now your income's not totally time-based. And so if you build it properly, you can step away for chunks of time. The business and the income keep running. And that's as you start to build a team of agents, that's where you start to have a business and you start to create passive income through your system of overrides. So that's a really big piece for us. We're going to come back to that. And certainly as an investor, that's where you've got assets, whether it's real estate or stocks, mutual funds, whatever it is you're doing to invest, and you're creating revenue and you're leveraging money or assets.
Yeah,
so
in our business, that might be investing or the building side of what we do. Like having an agent who's running their business or having an agency manager and stuff like that. That kind of falls into that area.
Yeah.
Because it's not based on us. But 95% or 96% of people fall on the left side of the page. Do I got that right, Katz? Left side of the page. And that's a lot of people that fall on that side of the page. But a lot of people would like to be on the right side of the page. They just don't know how to get there. And so that's what we do. We open doors for people talking about this business to help them get to the right side of the page. That's what Alex Abian did for Mike and I. That's what Andy Albright has helped us get to, was this right side of the page. So that's what we're talking about.
Absolutely. So if we'll, go ahead. I was going to say, Adam, anything you want to jump in on there?
Yeah.
Well, I was getting ready to say that it takes a different thought process, left side of the page versus the right side of the page. And as our background as school teachers, where we had a job, we needed the coaching, we needed the self-development, we needed to understand the investment piece. Like, there was a lot of learning we had to do to move over. And the Alliance just gives us that. It surrounds us with the people that can help us get there. We're always going into the 8 steps and looking at reading the books to help develop that mindset. So even if you right now, you're like, gosh, I really have a job mentality. I think I should show up at work at 9 and go home at 5 and never think about anything else again, and expect the money to come in. And that's all I want to do. That's not the mindset of a business owner. A business owner understands a bigger picture, and we have the way to help get you to understand that thought process, because that's where life is. Fun begins there.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest challenges that a lot of people have as they evolve through the quadrant, go from employee to self-employed to business owner, is they think being self-employed and being a business owner is the same thing. They think because they don't have a boss that they have a business. And making that adjustment from being self-employed or going from being an employee to being self-employed is such a tricky thing for so many people. I loved what the Osuna team did at Family Reunion, where they had the bingo, and they were going around to the different leaders asking questions. And the question I got asked a lot was, what was your biggest challenge transitioning from part-time to full-time? Transitioning from being a school teacher to being 100% self-employed. And for me, the biggest challenge was the discipline of schedule, the discipline of, I had nobody really to report to. So therefore I didn't. There was no accountability. And that mindset of, hey, I'm the CEO, the president of the Katz agency, and my top salesperson, when you're first starting, your top salesperson is you. So my top salesperson was Adam. As President Katz, how was Adam doing? And what kind of conversations did I need to have? Because Adam wasn't doing very good on the sales side. He showed up late for work, left early, didn't make enough dials. And, as president and CEO, I was just losing my mind about what this ding dong head of a salesperson was doing. And I had to evolve into the part of being able to play both roles and have that come to Jesus meeting with myself in the mirror that, hey, you're going to be back teaching school if you don't watch out. and so making that transition is tricky for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is. It's a good point on that. So as you start to understand the quadrants, and this the next slide, if you want to pull it up for us, Tia, really, as you start, even we could take that slide, and I know we talk about it here, what percentage of your income comes from your effort. You could even use this early on in terms of, hey, since you talked about job versus self-employed, how much of your income is coming from your job and how much is coming from your sales as a self-employed person. So first, if you've got a job and you're making this transition from full-time teacher or engineer and moving in the direction of trying to be a full-time agent, whether selling or building, that's the first thing to start tracking. Hey, what am I bringing in income-wise? Now, obviously, you're not going to go from 0% from your selling to 100% if you still got your job. And I don't know that you even have to get to 50-50 if you're putting in 40 or 50 hours a week at your job and 20 hours a week on the selling side. If you're getting a third of your income coming from your selling as a proof of concept, that's there. Or maybe you start to look at how much am I bringing in from my job, my selling, and my overrides, because one of the things that I realized was, okay, I knew when we were looking at going full time, I proved that I could sell. I quit my job because I knew I could build. And we had people in the pipeline because we started recruiting. Now, we didn't have any override income, but we had a pretty strong indicator we could have it because we had people that were licensed or getting licensed that were getting started at that time. Now, when I was leaving my job, I was making $75,000 a year, so I didn't have as big a nut to replace. So I was like, well, Mike, I can't quit my job because I make $150,000 a year. Okay, well, maybe what's going to help you bridge that gap is how much you can bring in on the override side of things, in addition to your selling and in addition to your job, knowing that you can scale both up once you depart, the job income. So that was something I thought of, I guess, since we were talking. But I've had this one slide here. A number of people came up to me and said, this slide really helped me clarify, what do I need to be focused on? Maybe they're already full-time with us and they're really trying to move from the self-employed to the business owner side. And this is probably one of the best metrics we can see here for that.
One thing that I said that really struck me on that slide, if you want to put it back up real quick to you on that slide, it was 0 to 100%. So for those that didn't see this, is 100% of your effort income coming from your effort is 0. So, and you rate yourself along that line. So it's basically, if you can get a little bit better, right? If you get 10%. And then move to 20 and then 30 and so forth along the line. So the goal is to maybe have 100% of your income coming not from your efforts, right? From building a business. But if you can scale it up, sometimes we want more right away, faster, right? But it's a scaling effort. And you were talking about your job. Mike left it, like I left my job pretty quickly. We did have his income coming in, so I was able to do that. And he left his, this isn't for everybody. I'm not advocating for this. You talk to your growing up line leader and they'll help guide you. But he did leave his $75,000 a year job before we had replaced that income, right?
Yeah.
We hadn't quite replaced it, but the proof of concept of that we could grow something bigger was there. We knew we could do it, and so therefore he left his job. He about 6 months after we started this. So just to be clear, I don't know if you want to speak any more about that thought process, but
yeah, we were selling, and I found out I could make $800,000, $1,300 a week part time. I was like, okay, if I can do that part time, I know I can do $1,500 to $2,000 a week full time, which would cover our lead costs and whatever else. So I knew we could get there and still have money to invest in recruiting. So that was the math that we did. So we knew that was possible.
And then also speaking to you, what you were saying, Adam, about having that discipline to say, okay, this is my job now, right. and following that plan. Now, we were not perfect at this. We had to create the schedule and the consistency behind it. Right, but because before Mike was at a full-time job, I was at a full-time job. They told us when to come in and come out, right? Maybe you can talk a little bit about that, Adam and Beth, how you did eventually create that, discipline to work that schedule and have that mindset. I don't think it's a negative thing to have the mindset of that employee clock in kind of mindset. Now, clocking out is a different story when you do that and what you do in between. Do you guys want to speak to that at all?
Yeah, I think a big thing. Number one is this: for each person, it's going to be an individual thing. There's no, looking at that scale and all of that. There's no, when you hit this, you're good to go. It is going to be each person. For me, I was making $32,000 a year gross, and Beth was a stay-at-home mom, so we were living on literally living on $1,700 a month take-home pay. So it wasn't that big a stretch to have to replace that. But even so, it's a scary piece. And, if you're building, and hopefully everybody listening is building, one of the things you get on a lot of these interviews is, well, I don't know that I can go full time. I don't know that I can live on straight 1099, things like that. So even if you're not making a lot of money at your job, it's still predictable. And so taking that leap of faith to a straight commission, straight 1099 is scary. It was scary for me. I wasn't making much, but at least I knew what it was going to be. And so, that was a big piece of it, was being able to live with that uncertainty. But the flip side of that is this: we are in a business where you're licensed to print money. And the idea that you can't get a batch of leads, go out there, work real hard, and get some commissions coming in the next 7 to 10 days. We always have that to fall back on. So Beth, you kind of early on, you were more focused on the home more so than the business piece of it. But you saw me struggle with a lot of things, and you struggled watching me not take ownership of things. So why don't you go from that perspective?
So I guess one of my funniest memories is that Adam left his teaching job around Thanksgiving, the first time he left a job. It was around Thanksgiving. He's like, "Oh, Christmas is coming up. Like, why don't you get me a pool cart? Because I'll have time to go golfing. And if I have a pool cart, then I can get some exercise, and I can be doing something while I'm doing something." The only problem is, Andy likes to be making money when he's making money when he's making money. That pool carts don't do that. And so we really had to go, okay, like there's got to be a work time, and you have to get to that point where you do mentally clock in and clock out. So if you've got, this is what I'm going to be doing for my job, I have to go clock in to go make my dials. We sell to eat, and so that's going to pay those immediate bills. So when Adam really made the change was when he got serious about tracking his dials, because then it wasn't, we can't always guarantee when someone's going to answer the phone. We can't guarantee if they're going to book an appointment. We can't guarantee if they can show up, that they show up when you have the appointment. But what you can control inside the circle of you, what you can control is how many times are you going to pick up that phone and dial those leads to make sure you get the appointments that you need. And that was the turning point. That turning point did not come immediately for us. We're slow. I'm sorry. Sorry, Andy. Sorry, Dave. But so Adam left a job, struggled, got uglier, went back to a job, and then came out. And so it was that next time when he sat down, we had a conversation, and he said, I've got 3 more months before I have to let the job. And in North Carolina, as a teacher, if you can take a leave of absence. And so that's what he did. He didn't ever, he didn't burn the ships to begin with. But he took a leave of absence. He's like, I've got 3 months before I have to go back and say, yes, I'm coming back to teaching. So I've got 3 months to prove that we can actually make it in this industry. And if I don't prove it in these 3 months, we're going to take all of our dreams that we've been talking about for years. We're going to put them on the back burner. I'll go back to teaching, and I'll just sell some on the side to have a little bit of extra money. That was the scariest conversation that I think we ever had, because the thought of we had been working for years to build up these dreams, and this is what we want our life to look like. And we were in that come to Jesus meeting where we've got to make it work. And the solution, what Andy said, Adam, here is how you solve the problem. You track the activity that you can control. And when he did that, then his schedule got consistent. Because Adam didn't have a problem going out and showing up for an appointment. He had a problem getting on the phone and making the appointments. But when he clocked into work, the rest of it flowed. He never went back to teaching.
Yeah, I think the scariest thing is, you wake up Monday morning without a plan. And so it's, you might as well be unemployed because you don't know what you're supposed to do. You don't know where you're supposed to do it. And learning those disciplines was the biggest thing. And the last thing I'll say is this. The good news is this. You're 90 days away from changing your life. You just make a decision and put your nose to the grindstone over the next 90 days. Your world will look completely different if you actually treat it like you want it to look different.
Hey, that's big. That is big. So we're going to talk about what people have been doing as you kind of what have been doing to feed these things with momentum. So I think as we were talking about, hey, this building side and the transition, whether from a job to a full-time agent or agent to building, having a business where your business is 80, 90, 100% of your income, what are the things that people have been doing since conference? So the number one thing that we've been coaching people to do that people have been doing, and we're seeing some really crazy fun things happen, is simply, hey, who do you know? Let's go chat with them. Doing invites and presentations. Invites and presentations. There's been a lot of that going on. And so we've coached a number of people over the course of the weekend. Hey, you're thinking of somebody that's a good quality person. And write their name down, write their phone number down while you're thinking about it. Hey, get on the phone with them, send them a text, get them on the phone with someone else. So there's a number of tools, but we've had people doing that. And so people are like, well, what exactly should I say? So if you're here and you're like, well, I haven't done that yet. Okay, well, let me share with you what people are doing, and then we're going to share with you some of the stories and crazy stuff that's happening. So very simply put, you might have been thinking about someone who's really talented. Maybe they're good at sales and real estate. Well, if you haven't heard, the real estate's going through changes, turmoil, challenges. A lot of good people in the real estate business are thinking, I don't know if I can keep going. So they're looking. There's people in the mortgage business where they're great at mortgages when interest rates are low. They're not so great with interest rates being this high and inventory being tied up. So those guys are hurting. We just had a week where the job reports last week wasn't really good. I had a friend who I thought was in a really good industry recruiting nurses. Talked to her yesterday. She lost her job on Friday. Right? It's like, no, you don't understand. They let off a lot of people. There's people looking that maybe you don't realize they're looking because they're not wearing their pain on their sleeve and they're not putting it all over their Facebook or Instagram posts. But I know there's people where stuff has changed drastically over the last 3 days, 3 months, 6 months, and is about to change more.
Maybe they do have a good job. They're just not happy doing that, right? It's kind of like how Mike was. Like he loved what he did, but he wasn't happy with where he was at and the potential for where he was at to make income. So I would just say this, let's all, this is what we do. We don't prejudge anybody. We don't make their financial decisions for them. I was telling a group at a family reunion that there was a guy in our wedding that prejudged our financial decisions. He did not ask us if we wanted to do this business. Alex Abian thankfully did about 4 months later, did ask us, and that question changed our life. So I would just be careful of prejudging people, and just maybe, and I was telling other people this too, I am not trying to get people. I don't get people. What I do is open a door for people, and if they want to come through, fine. Or if they know somebody that wants to come through and see what's on the other side, fine. Maybe they're just going to be a doorway for somebody else. I'm cool with that. So in our minds, I think many times we're like, I got to get this guy. I'm going to get this one. We don't get people. We offer an opportunity for people to come through it, and if they choose to, all's good. If they choose not to, all is good. No big deal, right? They might come back around too. We just had a group of people from St. Louis come back around from 8 years ago. Okay, so anyway.
Yeah.
So keep your mind right on that mindset and that thought process. That's the biggest thing I could.
So think of good people, and don't judge. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna make a call. And my first thing is
and then not desperate people.
Yeah.
You can talk to desperate people, but it might be more difficult. They might know somebody though, kind of like the people on the bus that Eric Belair didn't talk to.
Well, I think a lot of it also is this: we have a tendency, especially when we're newer, to talk to people who are in a worse position than we are financially or in life, because we're going to save people. We've accomplished something, so we're going to save. We're going to come down from our mountain on high and give this person an opportunity. And if you really look at the quality of people that we have at the Alliance, I mean, when you look at a Mike and Noelle Lewantowicz, college educated engineer, Patrick Connors, an aerospace engineer from an Ivy League university, Andy Albright was in charge of 400 people as a department manager at a textile. These are not people who aren't accomplished already in life. They're just people who are looking for more out of life, looking for the next opportunity. And then you get into lifestyle and say, well, I know this guy, he's making $180,000 a year. And it's just like, well, that's cute. It's like Andy was saying when Terry said he made $18,000 that month. And he's like, well, that's cute. It's like, who do you know that has a lifestyle like Mike and Noelle? Who do you know that has lifestyle like a Stephen and Holly Davies, Andy and Angela Riddle? These people are just living life on their terms. And it's that combination of time and money that they have that allows them to do that. So, even people making multiple six figures at jobs where they never can take off and they never can take vacations, things like that, they don't have the lifestyle that the leaders at the Alliance have. So there should be nobody on the list that you know of that you shouldn't at least offer the opportunity, because, we really do feel like you owe it to them to show it to them.
Yeah.
Here's a quick tool that we've shared with people that, I don't think it was taught from stage, but Andy's taught it in the past. And I thought, here's a good time to make sure remind people of what that simple tool is. So as you're thinking of someone, hey, jot their name and phone number down. The second thing is pick up the phone and call them. And if they answer, it's a very simple 4-word script with a question. And so here that is. So if you're not taking notes, write this down. If you don't have paper, text it to yourself. But here's the 4 words: help, leads, insurance. And then if I were on Adam's team, I'd say Adam from North Carolina, or Beth from North Carolina. Or if I'm working with Stephen Davies, hey, Stephen from Asheville. Or whoever it is, if it's Alex David, hey, Alex from Dayton. So that's, you say, well, that's 2 words. Okay, whatever. But bottom line is it's help, leads, insurance, first name of a growing up line that's good at recruiting and getting people started, followed by a simple question. Are you looking to make some more money? Are you looking to make some more money? Okay, that's shorter than stop it or I'll bury you alive in a box. Okay, for those that were there, okay. So the big thing is if you'll write those down, and if I'm calling Adam, how do I play them? Well, first I'll call him and he answers, and so let's say I know Adam, from teaching or whatever it is. So here's how that goes. So ring, ring.
Hello,
Adam.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing, Mike?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How's teaching going? You all in class yet? Are you getting ready?
Just doing getting my room ready. Kids coming about another week.
Okay, gotcha. Are you going to set some booby traps for them in case they misbehave?
Man, that feeling, that pit in the pit of your stomach, the butterflies are flying around already. I haven't even started yet.
I gotcha. I don't know what's legal anymore, man. If I was teaching, I'd want a taser. But all right. Well, hey, listen, let me tell you why I called. Outside of the teaching gig this summer, I've been working in another arena. I've been working, and the company I'm with, we're growing. We're looking for some help. And we've got these folks that are out there that are requesting assistance with getting enrolled in programs like Medicare Advantage, final expense programs, retirement protection programs, some other insurance-based programs that we're assisting them with because they're asking for help. And we don't have enough people to get with all these leads that are coming in. There's a guy named Andy who's out of Burlington, not far from you, who's told me to be on the lookout for someone that can help us out there in North Carolina. So I was giving you a call to see if you might be looking to make some more money.
I'm always looking. Is this something I'd have to quit teaching to do, or is it something I could do part-time?
Great question. Don't need you to quit teaching. Now we get you helping our families doing some stuff. That could be an option, but no, I don't want to disrupt your permanent income right now.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Can you tell me more about it?
I could, but you know what? My buddy Andy he's the one that's been coaching me and training me. He's going to do a better job of answering your questions and able to find out if this is going to be a good match, whether you're a good match for us or we're a good match for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some time with him. I think he's available about 4:00 today. If I get him on the phone then, is that good for you?
Yeah, no, I'll be watching out for your call.
Okay, what I'll probably do is I'll send him a text and you a text to make sure we're both good at 4 o'clock, but I assume we can get him on the phone, and I'll be there. I'll introduce you to him, and I'll let him explain more details, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. That is a simple execution of the forward script in a question. Adam said he was interested. He said, well, can you tell me more? And I said, yes, I can. I'm not going to tell him no. I could. And my buddy Andy is going to do a better job. So I don't say no, I can't, like it's some secret. I said I can. Because if I say I can't, then it would like take away credibility. So I said I can, and my buddy Andy's going to do a better job. Okay. Now, Adam, let's play it where you say no, not looking.
Okay.
Let's pick up from there. Are you looking to make some more money?
I tell you what, man, I am so knee deep into school. I got the student government I'm doing, plus I'm coaching basketball. I don't even know which way is up right now. Money would be good, but right now I don't have any time to even think twice about anything else. But appreciate you giving me a call.
Hey, dude, I appreciate you letting me know. I'm totally good with that. I tell you what, we really are growing right now and could need some help. Is there anybody that's like, your quality of an individual or better that may be looking or may have their options open that I should be reaching out to there around Wilmington or somewhere else in North Carolina? We really do need some help, and I totally get that this isn't the good time for you.
Nobody jumps to mind, but but I'll keep it in mind. If I bump into somebody or I think of someone, I'd be more than happy to shoot you a text, give you their number.
Okay, awesome. Hey, Bob, appreciate that. I might shoot you my website so you can learn a little bit if you have questions. All good. Hey, have a great basketball season, and we'll catch you later.
Sounds good. Thanks. I think one of the biggest things to remember in this process is if most people are going to appreciate the fact you thought of them.
Right.
Even if they're not interested, they're not going to be mad that you called. They're not going to start cussing you out. If they do, why are they even in your phone? These are not people you want to associate with if they're going to react that way to you trying to offer them an opportunity. It's like, hey, I was thinking I'm running out to Wendy's. You want me to pick you up something? What are you saying, that I'm not eating well enough? Or you think I can't afford my own food? I mean, nobody's going to react that way. It's the same thing with what Mike and Noelle just did, offering the opportunity. It's not, you shouldn't be afraid of what anybody's going to say. In fact, usually the higher caliber, the more money the person's making, the more appreciative they are that you thought of them.
That's true. That's very true. So there's 3 answers that Adam can give me. Yes, I'm interested. No, I'm not. And not everybody's going to give you a referral just because you ask, but sometimes people will think of someone later.
Sometimes the people that are higher income, that aren't ready to do anything right now, will give you, hey, you know what, my buddy, let me see if I can get him with you.
Yeah.
Or they know somebody that's looking. Many times it's the higher income people that do know and are willing to give referrals.
Yeah. The 3rd answer Adam can do is he can give me a bunch of questions. So I don't know, think of a question you want to ask me, and because I say, hey, Adam, you out there got your options open or looking to make some more money?
Well, I mean, it really depends what it is. How much time a week is it going to take? How long you've been doing it? What kind of money are you and Noelle making? If you can give me more information on things like that, I might be interested.
Okay, absolutely. So just getting rolling here over the last couple of months, and the guy who's coaching us, his name's Andy. He's the one that's kind of running the show here. He's probably going to do a better and more thorough job of answering your questions and kind of sizing you up to see if it's a match. So it sounds like what I ought to do is get you on the phone with him so we can get your question answered, but also so he can kind of get to see if you're the kind of guy he wants on our team and rolling with us. And so let's do that. You available around 4 o'clock today?
Yeah, I can make that work.
Okay, I'll get him. From there, I'm booking an appointment. But I'm almost then playing it as like, yes, we're going to get your questions answered. We're going to have questions for you, and it's about trying to find out, is this a match? It's not like I'm not scared of questions, but I'm also throwing it back. Hey, I'm sure he's going to have questions for you too. So just setting that stage. So I think,
and the edification of, he's busy. Let me see if I can get you on the phone. I'm not sure, his schedule, but man, he's helping a lot of people. Things like that. The more you can edify Now, you
Yes.
don't want to over edify. You
Yeah.
don't want to go on and on. But you also don't need to be the person to answer all their questions. You don't have to be the one to answer all their questions. That was big for me. I was like, I don't know anything. Right. That's why we're going to get you with an expert that can answer all your questions. So just play. Everything's no big deal. But this guy is really busy. Let me see if I can. He's coaching me. Maybe he'll help you out. Let me see if I can get him on the phone.
Yeah, I think that's a tendency when someone gets really excited and they're like wanting to call everybody, which is great. We want you to, but you don't have to throw up on the people you're talking to. Just I like that just calm composure. You're asking a question, yes, no, tell me more. That's all it is. And then you go to the next step. You don't have to tell everything you've thought of, every idea you heard mentioned from stage over the weekend. You don't have to say it in the first 30 seconds before the guy's even said, tell me more. So learning how to kind of take a breath, just have a conversation, and then be willing to talk to more than one person. That it doesn't have. I was talking to someone recently, and it's like, I'm really good at talking to people, and then if no one moves, I get frustrated. And how many people did you talk to? 3. Okay, it's gonna take more. Like we're not gonna get one person and we've found our savior. We're gonna have to offer the opportunity. Go for no. Talk to lots of people. Get the ones who are interested connected to your growing up line, to the person that can help you have that more in-depth conversation.
Yeah, I loved what Noelle was saying about we're not trying to get people. Understand, yes, we need people to grow our business, but we don't need that person to grow our business. If that's not the right fit, it's not the right fit. The other thing I'd say is this: if somebody's asking questions, Andy taught me this a long time ago. If somebody's asking questions, it means they're interested. So that's not a bad thing, them asking you questions, as long as they're the right type of questions, because people will ask ask questions for 2 reasons. One is they're trying to make you feel bad, or they're trying to put you down, or they're trying to elevate themselves. If it's that kind of person, just shut it down, move on, find somebody else. But the other thing is, it's because they're genuinely interested. They're genuinely curious. And those are the people we really want. You don't necessarily want them to be, oh, thank God you called, Mike. I didn't know how I was going to pay my electric bill this month. Can I make money that quick? You don't necessarily want that answer either. You want somebody who has some questions, isn't just going to jump into it without thinking twice and without even understanding what the business model is.
Yeah, that's huge. So the biggest thing we've seen people doing is they've been thinking of people and using some variation of what I'm calling this invite or forward script. Now, I had somebody ask me, said, Mike, what do I do if they don't answer? We send them a text. But I had somebody say, oh, should I text them the script? No. What we do is we send them a text. Hey, Adam, got something to run by you. You got a second? Or Adam, got a question for you, business related. Can you talk real quick? The goal is to get them on the phone. Kind of like we say with the selling side, the purpose of the phone call is to book the appointment. The purpose of the appointment is to sell the product. So here, the purpose of the text is to get them on the phone, not to book the appointment, not to pitch them. It's simply to get them on the phone. So please don't lose sight of that. So call first and then send a simple text so maybe they know who you are and why you're calling, just to get them on the phone. So I'd say let's, from there, I want to jump into some of the stories because we've got tremendous things happening. I think, Adam, I heard you doing a Zoom session. Kind of give us some idea of some of the crazy things, good things happening since Sunday. And I want to share some of these other successes that have happened because people are using these simple tools.
Yeah. So we've been doing a business overview, a Zoom business overview. We do one on Tuesday nights, and generally you're going to get you get a handful of agents that plug into it on a regular basis, and then you get a handful of brand new guests, people, but that ebbs and flows a lot, in terms of how many people are recruiting and how many are recruiting towards the call and things like that. But we had one last night, and we had 30 people jump on that call, brand new people, guests, fired up, and it's because coming out of convention, we're all so inspired. It's just like, oh, I need to talk to this guy. Oh, I need to talk to this guy. Oh, I'm just gonna talk to everybody, including the person at the Wendy's drive-through, including the person, wherever you happen to bump into people, you start talking to people. And if we could only harness that and maintain it, this isn't a 100-yard dash. We don't need to just talk to people from Monday through Wednesday after the conference. We need to continue to establish those habits. And but yeah, just having that many people plug into a brand new people plug into a business overview just shows how much momentum people came out of conference with, and how energized they were to invite new people to check out the business.
And how many again attended that, Adam?
We had 30 on the Zoom.
All right, go ahead, Beth.
And what I was saying is, it's exciting. I think I said this, that the idea that knowledge is power is not quite true. It's applied knowledge is power. So those of you who have come out of family reunion and you have taken some kind of action, you've had a conversation, you've invited somebody, you've taken some kind of action that has empowered you, and you're more inclined to take more action today because of what you did yesterday. You built that muscle. And if you're like, oh, I was thinking about it, I haven't quite done it yet. Right now, there's an opportunity for you to take action now, and each positive step just builds your forward momentum. So we're seeing the stories like Mike was talking about, like we had last night. We're seeing the stories of people taking action. We want to make sure that you're making that choice too.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I love the Zoom overview. Actually, James and Pamela were telling me that they had 14 guests on a Zoom business overview through 5 different people that were at family reunion, and 7 of those people on that overview, they got into class and got them started. So yeah, the energy coming out of it, I love what you talked about, harnessing that energy and keeping that momentum going through all the way to the national boot camp, which I think we said was 90 days, but I feel like it's about 2.5 months, maybe a little less than 90 days. So
I was ballparking it.
Yeah,
I was just making up a number, actually.
It's urgent, man. It's urgent, right? So let's keep the momentum going. But I love the business overviews. I love the face-to-face. We actually had Nathan. I think he's somewhere in depth under Jake and Veray, but he got one signed up in class and got them started. And then Ryan and Alex, they were at the family reunion. They got somebody started, and that's 3 deep under Jake and Veray in that group under Jake and Veray. So lots of momentum, lots of activity, just talking to people, keep that energy going and moving. And one thing to note, and you said it, Beth, but one thing to note is don't worry about it if they don't do it. Again, we're just opening the door to have them make a decision, right? And keep that frustration. That's how you kind of keep that frustration at bay. Yes, we all get frustrated because we really think people are sharp and they should do this. But it's no big deal if they don't. Just make that in a month or 2 or 3. Call them back, see how it's going, right? So that's the way I keep my mind right with it. And then one other thing, or 2 other things, and then Mike's got some stuff. But Tracy, he was at a family reunion. He sent us a list of 10 or 15 people to talk to. He was texting us at the reunion. I need you to talk to these people. So we got a bunch from him. And then Franklin sent his first family reunion, his first event, I think. He sent us a list of 5 or 8 people. So, yeah, lots of activity going on. So keep that momentum going.
So another story here, I'm going to explain the tool. So Brian Rojas and his team were driving back to Florida from North Carolina. They were doing a textile session while they were in the car. And so I see Dale had people there. And it looks like Ayana on his team had 7 wide and 4 in depth, and all on his team gave him at least 2 people to talk to. So that's pretty crazy, right? Just going through some more of this. Dale's like number 2, Dwight and Jalen, same thing. Just finished off a call with one of Dwight's friends. Didn't even know that she was licensed. Now she's coming to see Andy Riddle at the Hot Spot in Tampa on Thursday. So that's big. But bottom line is, out of this textiling session, 7 new agents out of these 3 or 4 guys doing textiles found from this text dialing. So what's text dialing? That's where, okay, maybe you're trying to call someone, you don't catch them, but you send them a text. Maybe you're all sitting in a group. Maybe you're together physically. Maybe you're on Zoom, and you as a leader may be there with 2, 3, 5, 8 new agents, and they're all fighting to get someone on the phone. It's like we got different lines in the water if we're on a boat fishing, and hey, as soon as we get one on, we all kind of watch and cheer for the one that's having the conversation and seeing what happens there. So that's a fun way, and we've had pockets of people doing that.
Where do people text?
And people can text something simple like, hey, Joe, you got a second to talk business? Just so you got, hey, want to run something by you business-wise. That's one version. There's a couple other versions.
No, I could hear people like the bubbles, like Terry Edwards, popping up in people's head. What's text? Like, what do you text? What do you say? How do you? It's keep it very simple. You don't want to text the whole business overview. Okay, just keep it simple. Hey, Mike, you got a minute to talk business? I ran into something you might like, whatever, and just keep it real basic as you're doing it. But I love the group textile sessions, because once you get one on the hook, then other people will start texting people, and then they get excited, right? So it creates that big momentum, for the team while you're there.
Yeah. I think when it comes to what do you text what you would say to your friends.
Exactly.
I'm 55 years old, gray hair. I'm not going to text the same thing as a 19-year-old college student would text. And so you don't want to be, well, I just happened to run into a few acquaintances of mine. Hey, I need to talk to you about my bag, or about your bag. I need to talk to you about money or whatever words you would use hanging out with your buddies that you're now texting. Continue to use those words. Don't change who you are, because they're going to be like, all right, who are you? Why? They're going to be very suspicious as soon as they see this text if you start all of a sudden changing your whole way of communicating.
Yeah, that's big. And if they start asking you questions, great question, can you pick up the phone? Great question, can you call me? Great question, can you talk now? I mean, you got to, don't try to answer the question. So we'll have some fun with that. There's some more stories I can get to.
You don't want to have a text-versation. You want to have a conversation. Keep it real simple.
Yeah.
Notice everything we're doing here is like real simple. We're not trying to go into a lot of, just keep it real basic.
Right. And so if you're a leader, are you teaching this to your people, or are your people on this call to hear it or go back and listen to it? And hopefully that'll help you. All right. So we've been talking about, one of the first things is, hey, on this recruiting piece, what do we do? I got one quick thought on this, because I see some bubbles of some other people listening. Like I can see out there in YouTube land, y'all are saying, how can I recruit somebody if I'm just getting started selling? And you're thinking, I have a good reason not to. Well, you have a great concern. Let's help you understand how we do that. If you have an NFL team, most teams have a scouting department, and then they have a coaching department. Now, the Carolina Panthers, they don't have either. That's why they're a disaster. Okay? But outside of that...
You're making people mad.
I know. But, well, they know. Okay.
They know.
So, all right. So, here's the deal. We're asking you not to become a coach, but can you be a talent scout? Because in the NFL, the scouts don't show up for practices on a daily basis. They're out there scouting more talent. But they've got coaches that know how to coach people and get them through and get them up to speed and make them a fully functional pro. And so recognize that. So as you're learning the process of selling, relax. Nobody's asking you to do the coaching, just as Adam might have been coaching his daughter Emily on how to sell, and she's out there finding people. Adam can help coach the people that Emily's met. It's not all on Emily to do that. And so it's not on all you to do that. So free yourself. Don't be confused. Your initial role while you're still learning is, hey, you can be a scout and rely on great leaders that can help you with the coaching. So free yourself of that. Let's jump into speaking of coaching and selling. We've had people that are coming out with increased activity and results on the selling side. Adam, what are some things either you've seen or you know people are doing that's helping driving results on the selling side as they've come out of family reunion so far?
You know what? One of the biggest things I've seen is just an uptick in activity. Whereas somebody, I'm going to make phone calls on Monday, and then end of the day Monday. Well, what happened was, and distractions and life, and all of a sudden, it's amazing how many times Grandma has a doctor's appointment that you're the only person that can take them to it. Happens right during your dial time, and so just seeing more people focused. We have a new agent, Dorothy, who got her first batch of Bang Bang leads. She got 15 Bang Bang leads, came in almost immediately, and she booked 8 appointments. Got the leads, dialed the leads, booked 8 appointments.
And she made the decision about she got Bang Bang leads while she was at convention and got her name in the hat. And she won an iPad.
Oh, yeah, she's the one who won the iPad, too. So things are already made.
And good things happen to people who take action, That's good. That's awesome.
So that was a big thing that I saw, and even on lower levels, just people who hadn't been making phone calls started making phone calls, even if they're not having the most outstanding success. They're going back, they're getting into the grind, they're controlling what they can control, and that part is awesome to see, because previously they were just like waiting for the skies to open up and premium to fall into their lap like manna from heaven, and I've never seen it work that way.
And we've got people who are looking at scheduling events and seminars for the trust, the estate planning. They were getting with corporate and looking at the maps and where can I go and what. So taking that action, we know that's a longer term process to create money, but oh my gosh, the availability, the potential that's out there for that. So we're excited about that too.
Yes. I've got a quick story here. So Sarah Seifert, as leader, had a lady that come up. I don't think she'd made many dials at all prior to, but Mary was at family reunion, and Sarah scheduled a dial session with Mary. Mary got a batch of leads. I think it was through Bang Bang.
Yeah, it was.
So got her first batch. They booked 5 or 6 appointments with her dials, and what Sarah did, whether she was face-to-face over Zoom, I think it might have been over Zoom, but Sarah was coaching her one-on-one. So, sometimes a new agent, you're scared when you start calling. So Sarah was there. It's like, it's okay, keep going. But she did great. And then yesterday, I think she wrote 1 or 2 apps and found $600,000 of money sitting in a person's checking account. And so not a bad find for your first day in the field working with leads, right?
It's crazy.
So, go ahead.
Davies, we had reached out to some different leaders to give us some success stories too. And Davies, one of his hockey buddies who just recently started with us, Dave O'Brien, took the learning from the estate planning. He had already run a seminar previously, did not have a lot of success in booking appointments, and was having trouble scheduling the intakes and the follow-up stuff. But from what he learned from the panel discussion and everything at the convention, he booked 12 immediate appointments at the seminar he did Monday night. So he had the seminar scheduled coming off convention, and because of the training, was able to book 12 appointments without even having to call any of the green sheets yet. That was before he left the seminar. Things like, it's just exciting to take that information and apply it for sure.
That's cool. But I'm getting a text from Sarah. Not only did she not only did she find the money, they got on Chris's calendar and it's booked to come back and help reposition that money. It's like they took more than just finding it. They're moving forward, and what a cool story it's going to be as some of that money gets repositioned. I love that. It's funny how there are some people that will say, well, I don't think I should be going to conference because I'm not making enough money to go there yet. It's like, you fool, maybe that's why you're not making money, is because you're not putting the proper investment in knowledge and in yourself to become good enough. Maybe you're the problem. Okay, sorry, somebody might need to hear that. Nobody on my team, I'm sure. Probably somebody on someone else's team.
Nobody on this YouTube, but somebody else.
You might know somebody that you could.
Might know somebody. So, okay, but look, guys, you're going to have to invest in yourself to grow and get better. And like, I know there's some other productive stories out here.
Well, I know that Bruno and Herman and Caden and Oscar, they're part of a young organization. They're fast growing under Jake and Varay's team. They stayed over, and then they were at the corporate headquarters doing their dial session right there, so that when they got back, they hit the ground running today. They got appointments scheduled and their week planned out. And I love it because Jake was telling me somebody brought in food or something for people, and while they were dialing there, and these guys said, no, we're not getting any, and they're young guys, like 20, 19, 20. They're like, no, we're not getting any food. We can't get any food until we booked up all our calendar already. That's the kind of thing we need to do, right? That goes to the thought process we talked about before, is if it's on your schedule, that's what you're doing, dials. You're not even eating until you get your appointment set up. So I love that mentality.
Yeah, 10 before 10 mindset, or 20 before 12, or however you're thinking about your appointment setting. Love that. And so that was something cool. People chose to say, here, I know that I'm going to spend the night. I can't get a later flight out on Sunday, so we're going to go and we're going to pull together and do a dial session. So there's another thing that we've seen where people are learning and staying focused. Adam, other stories that you've seen on the selling side where people are making some stuff happen here in the last couple of days?
Yeah, Osuna, the Osuna team is blowing up. They came in with momentum. They left with Cesar Perez, recruited 2 people today. Jep Siri and Samantha wrote their first 2 final expense policies off of Bang Bang Leads. Guys, do you understand Bang Bang Leads $5? If you sign up for a subscription, you get 50 Bang Bang Leads for $250, $5 each. I love the way Dan Mirdo, part of our team, he was the first person I heard explain it this way. If you bought 50 lottery tickets, 50 scratchy tickets, and you knew there were 5 $500 winners in those 50 scratchy tickets, would you scratch them? And that's what you got with 50 Bang Bang Leads. I promise you, there's 5 sales in those 50. Now, you might have to scratch all 45 to get to the 5 good ones, but they're there. Just do the work and dig through them to get your $500 pop sales. So great job, Jep Siri and Samantha. Alex Cortez wrote his first annuity, $45,000. Coming off a convention. Isaiah's new agency manager, Isaiah Osuna. They're trying to give the Katz family a run. The Osuna family is trying to. You need more. You got Aaron killing it. We need more Lewantowicz kids coming in. But brand new agency took a new agent out door knocking, booked 3 appointments for tomorrow. Just door knocking old leads. Showing a new agent how to do the process. It's just fun. Hearing these success stories and seeing these success stories.
Yeah, it very much is. So here's a thought from a leader's perspective. We've just we've had, you figure if people were dialing Monday and in the field yesterday, we've only had a day of field activity. So I'm excited for what we're going to see throughout this week and into next week, because we see spikes, but I can just feel what's happening from all the reports that are going on right now, what we're going to see from how many people are going to be popping 5K, 10K, 15K weeks in their personal production. So I know it's upon us, so that's one thing, but here's what leaders are doing. So if you're helping somebody get started, here's what's happening. One is leaders are taking newer people, or maybe not so newer people, but making sure that their calendar is structured for this week. Like, hey, when is your dial time? When are your appointment times you're looking to fill? Do you have enough leads? Do you need to increase your subscription? What's your goal? What do you need to do to get to Cabo? How many appointments do we need to book? What do we have to do? So leadership questions, that's what they're doing to ask. And if you're like, well, nobody's asking me that, well, go find somebody that you know will help you with that. And then, or hey, you're entitled to ask yourself those questions too and be the problem solver. But I promise you, there's someone that's going to help you in your upline that you can get to that will work with you. If you say, hey, here's me, I'm trying to bust out and have a bigger week coming out. Let's start. What do we got to do? Plan your schedule, plan your leads, equip you with any skills, and get an idea of what do we need to do to get to the goal you've got, whether it's qualifying for Cabo or an income goal.
And then get your plan get with your leader, get your plan. Yes, absolutely. And then our job is to execute that plan, and then come back and get more coaching. Lay out the plan, execute, come back and get more coaching. And on it goes. On and on it goes. It's not just a one and done kind of situation, especially if you're not working with us. I mean, this is what we do. And those that don't want to execute or choose not to, that's okay. It's just the time commitment we can put there, kind of lowers it down, right? Because we do have people that are trying to execute. Now, when I say execute the plan, I say execute the plan. I don't say you have to be perfect on that execution of the plan, right? So that's the key. Get your mind right. Yes, of course you're going to make mistakes, and that's why you come back and get the coaching and the guidance. And it's not going to be perfect all the time, I promise you. Some weeks are going to be better than others. That's why everything's no big deal when we execute the plan and then when we get the coaching moving forward.
Yeah, no doubt.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, the goal is to be high speed, low drag, right? I always want to be high speed, low drag, meaning I don't want to be a problem for Andy Albright. I know I am, but I don't want to be. And, I want to be going at full speed as best as I can. And like Noelle just said, it doesn't mean we're perfect. It just means the eighth step to success is communicate with a positive attitude. That means we're solution oriented. Mm-hmm. We're learning what's not working. We're making those mistakes. But high speed, low drag means we make the mistake quickly, and then we make the course corrections just as quickly as we can. And that's ultimately the goal that, hopefully if you're trying to grow your business and you're trying to be successful, hopefully you want to be a blessing to the people that's coaching you. And that's one way that you can do it with that positive communication.
Yeah, it's all about progress, not perfection. So what will you do today to make progress, to be a little bit better today than you were yesterday, a little bit better tomorrow than you were today? But that doesn't happen without taking action. So go ahead and risk messing up. Go out and make a mess and then get someone to help you clean it up. But that we do that, we get better, we hit our goals, we have new goals, we go out, mess up. It is that wash, rinse, repeat. But what's Sarah's favorite line from Storks? Make a plan. Make
a plan. Stick to the plan. Always deliver.
All right. Speaking of, getting to an event and taking some action on that, Holly Davies and Stephen Davies had some friends there that they got to the event last minute. A couple named Anthony and Lilia, and already coming out of there, Stephen's working and helping them with 2 annuities this morning, and they've got their first recruits that are signed up and with their license in the class, and they've got their tickets to the National Boot Camp in Orlando. And so I'm going to use that as, hey, the next big thing is, hey, if you got something meaningful from a family reunion, hey, you're going to be hungry for more. There's going to be something else you need to take it to the next level. So make sure you've got your National Boot Camp ticket locked in. Help somebody in your team that needs to. The discounted tickets are available through midnight Sunday. And TF5, correct me if I'm wrong on that. I want to make sure everybody's clear, because somebody's going to wait till the last minute, and then they might get the date wrong. So Tia, please give us a confirmation. It's midnight Sunday, but we don't want our procrastinators to procrastinate. So yes, midnight Sunday. Okay, we're all clear on that.
That's midnight Eastern Standard Time, West Coast people. You don't have till midnight West Coast.
That's right. That's a good point.
Yeah, so you can't procrastinate as much if you're on the West Coast. So heads up on that. And here's what I love. Andy's already started to explain what's going to happen. So if you liked some of the morning breakout sessions that we had before things got kicked off on Saturday, Andy has several smaller type niche breakout sessions with different types of skills for people to learn that you're going to be able to choose from when we're there in Orlando. So there are several pockets. So if you're like, ooh, I think I would learn better from this type person because I've got similar experience, or they're hitting a topic that I know they're good at that I need more coaching on, that's what's going to be happening here in Orlando. It will be a very different feel from other events that you've seen because of that. So if you, I've been to one, I've seen it all. Not so fast there, cowboy. So that would be my big thing is, number one, take action, help somebody take action now. I just realized we've moved a bunch of extra tickets we've got on Sunday. Literally before this call, we grabbed 4 more because I know we're going to be filling them up. So if you're already seeing things happen on the recruiting side and you know you've got some people, maybe they're not ready to commit now, but you know you're finding people, you might choose to grab a couple more while you still can at this price point. Adam, you got more thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, it's if you know you're going to be here October 21st, then you need to be in Orlando October 18th through the 20th. So if the game plan is to plant your flag and grow your business, why would you procrastinate on one of the biggest decisions, which is the power of association, the attend all meetings? I love the 8 steps because it just is so simple. Here's the formula. Just follow the formula and attend all meetings. This is wah wah wah. The alarms are going off. This is all hands on deck, October 18th through the 20th. And why would you procrastinate? And why would you miss the discount? You understand that the price at the door is going to be $5.99. These are $600 tickets that you can get for $299. And there's going to be somebody who's going to text on Monday and said, hey, my computer messed up. Is there a way? No, there's not. And so if you know you're going to buy it Sunday, go ahead and buy it now. And it's that lack of urgency that so many people work with. It's one of the things we've started doing these estate seminars, the estate planning seminars, and it's just like, why don't people take action? It's either lack of knowledge or procrastination. And I love how Scott Garcia defines it: procrastination. You are an expert at procrastinating, an expert at putting things off. So let's lose our pro status and just go ahead and take care of things today.
To me, the decision to go is critical to your livelihood. Like, it is, we're going to have good days. We're going to have bad days in the business. We're going to have days where we just need someone to love and support us. We need that our cups filled. And what going to NBC will do is it's going to fill you to overflowing. And so you've got the knowledge, you've got the resources, you've got the energy that you can go out, and then you'll be able to do another 90-day run, just like we're taking the Energy Family Reunion and going on a 90-day run. We all need that. And here's the other thing. If we take action between now and the next 90 days, we are different people come October 18th. And so when you walk into NBC and you have that list of all the different speakers and all the different rooms that you could rush to, you're going to be in a different place. You're going to hear all of that knowledge at a different level so that you can go forward again. It's just all part of that process of let's get better. So we know that taking action today, getting that ticket, and if you bought your ticket already, go ahead and assign that ticket. Put it in your name. Name that puppy. Shout out for Tia.
Well, I just think this is what we do. Like, we attend all meetings. We all attend all the meetings we're invited to. Is it always easy? Of course not. It's not always easy, but we attend all the meetings that we're invited to, and everybody is invited to this one. Now, not everybody will choose to come through that door, and that's okay. No big deal. But the all the things that we've talked about today, all the activity, Mary getting that $600,000 annuity potential, and all the recruiting and all the things have come because people went to the big meeting, made the big decision, and coming out of it took action. Sometimes people say, "Well, I don't need all that." I need all that. I feel like, okay, if you have a pulse, you need people. I heard somebody say the other day that I don't like people. They don't like people. Okay, I would walk that back and say, you might not like some people, but we all need people. That's why we're called human beings and people, right? We like to be around other people. So this is an event where you can get like-minded people wanting to help you, wanting to invest with you, wanting to know about you, wanting to learn, all in one location. Like Adam and Beth are in Wilmington, North Carolina. Mike and I are in Louisville, Kentucky. We're all going to be in Orlando on October 18th, 19th, and 20th. So you are all invited. And to make that quality decision while you're thinking about, do it now. Do it now. Get that ticket. Go ahead and invest in yourself. It comes back to that cash flow quadrant that we talked about at the beginning of this call. The business owners and the investors and even the self-employed, they're investing in themselves. This is a way to invest in yourself.
Yeah, very much so. Okay. These are the big things we want to come at you. As leaders, as new people that are trying to build momentum, we're out there talking to new people, helping them out, checking interest, doing invites, doing presentations, and helping. There's a lot of helping people understand who we are and moving forward. 2, there's people that are taking more selling activity. We're making sure their calendar's structured right and they're getting enough leads and getting coaching, whether it's in person or in between calls or over a Zoom session. And people are getting committed and taking care of being prepared as we're fighting for this target of this next moment of education, measuring, and celebration on October 18th and 19th and 20th. Those are the 3 big things that any leader has been focused on. So that's out there. We invite you to be part of it. Adam, Beth, any kind of closing remarks before we let everybody back to the regularly scheduled programming?
No, I mean, I think this has been good. We get to do it again Friday. So looking forward to sharing more screen time with you guys. But guys, you build your business from conference to conference. Andy's always taught us this: the biggest head fake in your business is volume. We tend to judge where our business is based on the amount of premium. If somebody writes a big IUL or somebody writes a big annuity, that can change the volume structure very quickly. But the real key KPI, the key performance indicator of your business and the stability and growth of your business is how much you grow from one conference to the next conference. So this is really the time to focus on that aspect of business and grow your team.
There's a moment to go all in your life. This is it. So take the nuggets that you got at family reunion, take the nuggets you've pulled from this call, take the example that you're hearing of the stories of people who are taking examples. Take their story and make it your story. Go out there and do something today that will lead you to the dreams, the goals, to what your family deserves. Take action.
Adam, since you mentioned KPI, do you want to give them, I don't know if you did that intentionally, if you want to use that as a segue for Friday?
A Friday teaser.
No, you
So that we are going to come in more details and talk about some KPIs, key performance indicators on Friday, and kind of get into a little bit more detail on that call. So you'll want to make sure you get on and bring in other people on. We're going to get in a lot more detail on that call.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about what Beth learned watching the Lewantowicz office and how you guys can apply and duplicate. We've always thought of Mike and Noelle as two of the best run business owners in terms of running their business like a business. And so when Beth had the opportunity to spend a few days in the Lewantowicz office up there in Kentucky, she came back with pages and pages of notes. We have a whole notebook that we were going through on tweaks that we need to make in our office to help, to get to that level. So looking forward to hearing Mike and Noelle explain the thought process behind the systems as well, not just what the KPIs are, but also their thought process on how they came up with these are the things that are necessary. So it's going to be a fun call Friday. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, and we'll have more successes that we hear about through the week. So if you're a leader and you know something big and you want to give somebody some recognition or shout out and inspire the people on the team, hey, let us know between now and Thursday night or Friday morning. We know that there's a lot bubbling up, so please share with us so we can spread the word. Guys, take care. Let's get after it. See you Friday.
Thanks, Mike and Noelle.
Bye.